Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while I'm in the air, I'm shooting for the sky. Landing on the moon, walking on the sun. Taking over the game, get it back when we done. Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while I'm in the air, I'm shooting for the sky. Landing on the moon, walking on the sun. Taking over the game, get it back when we done. I'll get it back when we done. 10,000 hands in the air, have you ever seen? Work 9 to 5 or 5 to 9, do you ever dream? They in the red, but my stalk is green. Proud like I reached the clouds, all off a beam. Dreams on lucid, films on Lucas. Sound on surround, and the crowd on stupid. Who that chick Dion? That's Dion on Clueless. You circling around the money, sitting in a Cuban car. Field of dreams, they said I'm too corny. Funny, I got their ears all on me. Fears all gone, and my peers all wrong. So keep your 2 cents in every phrase y'all coining. That's just common sense, all the hating, I honored it. I don't leak, I quantum it. I don't answer, I problem it. I just drop shit while they asking what a colonic is. Pinky, you know what I'm pondering? Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky. Landing on the moon, walking on the sun. Taking over the game, get it back when we done. Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky. Landing on the moon, walking on the sun. Taking over the game, get it back when we done. I'll get it back when we done.
What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fan, stand up and yo, doesn't it feel good to have actual football to talk about? And we are definitely going to talk about it as the Dallas Cowboys wrapped up their first preseason game yesterday versus the LA Rams. Salute to the Cowboys fans who went out there. I know there's a few Cowboys fans out there in LA like, yo, Tuck, I'm pulling up to the preseason game just to see our boys. So we definitely have a lot to talk about. But before we start, y'all know the rules. Y'all know the vibe. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button. Let everybody know that we are going live right now. We're also going to turn on the phone lines here in a little bit so y'all can call in and just talk. I was watching my dog Luther Burden play right now in Chicago, and then I have the Chargers versus the Saints, so I'm gonna get to watch a little Devin Neal football, also Amari and Hampton. But we're gonna keep it rolling because the Dallas Cowboys is the priority. Salute to everyone in the chat. I see Timo in the building. What's going on with you, dog? My dog Sin City in the building. What's going on with you, bro? My dog DMV, man, has me rolling. Y'all don't know, man, like a lot of y'all, and we appreciate y'all, love the Cover 3 show, man. Salute to my brothers Rome and also CFT, man. But if y'all actually are in DMV, but the Cover 3 group chat's completely different show. You know what I'm saying? The Cover 3 group chat's a completely different show. We talking about some other shit right now. Y'all got me rolling here. John Penn says Joe Milton trash. We gonna talk about it. The show KC Thunder, Airball Joe, Will Greer just won. Series looks much better than aware. So yeah, we're gonna talk about it here. We're gonna talk about all of it as we all watch in unison the Dallas Cowboys first preseason game. So where do we want to start? I'm gonna start with Shotty. I'm gonna start with Brian Schottenheimer. All right. I don't want to say this. I was a little disappointed yesterday. And here's why I was disappointed, right? By what we saw. Now, I'm not sure, and somebody, Cowboys media, is probably watching right now. Somebody needs to ask this question. Is this a Schottenheimer decision, or is this a front office decision? Now, I know Brian Schottenheimer in his interview, he kind of danced around the subject a little bit, like, oh, we want to rotate guys and this and that. But like my dog DMV is saying, what we saw yesterday was the complete opposite of everything we've been hearing all offseason. All right. Well, Tuck, what are you talking about? Well, we've been hearing everything we do and every day, it would be about competition. that everybody will be pushed. No jobs are safe, even though we know some jobs are safe, right? We're going to be tough. We're going to be physical. We're going to run the ball, right? So that is what we've been hearing all offseason, right? And I've been kind of saying, okay, well, show me something. You know what I'm saying? It suits my dog, Boss Cowboy, boss, show me, right? All right, well, then show me something. And then the very first preseason game that we have, you know, I understand, okay, Dak. I understand CD. I understand Pickens, Tyler Smith, right? Micah. But outside of that, when I saw Clarence report that Sam Williams wasn't going to be participating, when I saw that Tyler Booker, our first round rookie, was not going to be participating in preseason, when I saw Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn, you know, Javonte Williams, I was like, whoa, what are we doing? Right? What are we doing? This is counter everything we've been hearing all offseason, right? Some of the mega stars, the big money guys, I get it, but there is no reason in hell Jack Sanborn, Kenneth Murray should have just been vibing. Diamond chains on, eating sunflower seeds, right? And then we have a situation where Tyler Guyton is out. You have Nate Thomas, who was probably going to be your starting left tackle unless Tyler Guyton's able to make it back. He had minimal reps. He had the same reps as La'el Collins, who played late in the fourth quarter. So I'm just confused by that. You know what I'm saying, DMV? Yeah. Jack Sanborn sitting out, bro. Like, come on, dog. Like, what all right, come on. We pushing it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We are pushing it. So, yeah, La'el Collins did play. La'el didn't come into late fourth quarter. Him and Nate Thomas, who's going to probably be possibly our starting left tackle, had the same amount of reps, same amount of snaps. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. All right? Yeah, Lou, that was kind of soft yesterday, right? That was kind of soft yesterday. So now, Shotty, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, but it doesn't, 2 + 2 was not equaling 4. I heard competitiveness, no job is safe. We're going to compete every day. We're going to be physical. We're going to have high energy. I didn't see it yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Now, here is another head scratcher for me, y'all. And this is just me. So to my dog, Matt Lennox, in the building, bro. Right? If I was to mix it up a little bit and break down a video, and I toss in last year's game versus the Rams and mixed it in with this year's game versus the Rams, you guys probably wouldn't even know the damn difference. So let me ask you guys, what was something new that you saw from one regime in Mike McCarthy to the new regime in Brian Schottenheimer yesterday? Now, I haven't gotten to the film yet. I'll do that. I'm probably going to do that tomorrow because I'm chilling on a Sunday. I'm about to go grill some steaks and get back on the grill and chill, right? But what was something that you guys like, oh, that's new. That's different. We didn't have that last year. What was it? And I know that, hey, it's just preseason. We wasn't going to use the Wildcat. We wasn't going to use the pistol formation and, you know, all that stuff. We wasn't going to reveal that. But I'm talking about from a player standpoint, right? said the head coach. The head coach is smaller. The head coach is smaller. Slim McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't see a difference. Like, hey, I know it's just the preseason, but hey, they was playing with high energy, right? Hey, I know it's just the preseason and we haven't, we were running very vanilla defense and offense, but them boys was out there flying around playing tough, right? I saw Awesome Richards get called for the same penalty 2 times in a row to wipe out a big run from Phil Maffa. Oh, it sounds like we're right back in the Mike McCarthy era, bro. Like, hold on. You got the same penalty 2 times in a row that wiped off big plays from our running back. That's that old Mike stuff, bro. If a ref tells you to get your ass on the line of scrimmage 1 time, then just move up slightly. You know what I'm saying? He sat back and said, you know what? I'm going to continue to do it my way. And the ref threw the same flag on him, bro. So it's like the discipline, right? And Dame, not sure if you're new or not, right? Welcome, possibly. We're talking preseason, haven't won a week 1 preseason since 17. Relax. We're not even talking about the final score. You know what I'm saying? Right? So I'm not sure if you're new, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. We're not talking about the final score. Hell, I picked the Rams to win that game, right? We're talking about the evaluation of what we saw yesterday. And this is a community, CFO Sports. We evaluate. We evaluate, right? Not talking about who won the game or who lost the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. All right. But penalties. Saw it, right? I saw lack of physicality, right? Didn't really play with a lot of energy. So those are some of the things, right? First 3 plays, jog my memory. It was passing plays. Thought we was all right. So I didn't see, okay. Hey, they're playing with some energy out there. They're actually, yeah, okay. All right, cool. That's something new, right? Now, there was more motions, but I'm really not into the motion stuff, as many people are. I mean, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why people get so excited about motion, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing groundbreaking. Motion has been in football since history times, right? But I just didn't feel anything new. Now, maybe it was Shotty's first game, cobwebs, whatever, but the things that you can do, regardless of scheme or anything, is play with high energy. No, you do not, Dame. Perfect, right? So, I was just watching the Chicago Bears, right? Chicago Bears. Last year, under Matt Eberflus, okay, the Chicago Bears was one of the top red zone defenses in the NFL. All right? The Dolphins had marched down the field and gotten to the red zone, right? With Jalen Wright and Devon Achane out there, right? And Tua, who's the most fragile player and quarterback in the NFL, was out there a second ago during preseason, all right? But the Chicago Bears was one of the top red zone defenses last year under Matt Eberflus, okay? Matt Eberflus is now in Dallas. They now have Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator, who was in Saints, right? Who beat our ass, right? They get down to the red zone, and those boys was firing on all cylinders and got 4 straight stops in a row in the red zone. New coaching staff, new scheme, new philosophy, But sometimes your DNA is just your DNA, right? So that is what we're trying to say, y'all, right? Let's not, all right, I get it. We were in camp. We were out in Oxnard. We got to see cute camp clips flying around. The babysitting shit is over. It's over now, all right? We're coming back to reality. You know what I'm saying? Like Thanos said, you couldn't live with the failures and disappointed. So where did that lead you? Back to me. Now it's time for the film watchers. Now it's time for the evaluators. Now it's time to go watch Lou and DMV and JC and, you know, the dogs, right? That's the boss Cowboys that's really going to evaluate, follow Aisha and Patrick Nosey Walker. Now it's time to get to the real football stuff. The cute and cuddly season is officially over. We now have film that we can evaluate. And it doesn't matter if I'm coaching, DMV's coaching, our Dame is coaching. You can still play physical. You can still fire off the ball. You can still tackle and finish your tackles. That has nothing to do with scheme or coaching staff or anything. That's just with mentality. All right? So those were probably the two things that really stood out yesterday. I was like, all right, we are going to have to sit back and wait and see. But I just didn't feel the newness. Still penalties, right? There was still that, right? So, yeah. Now, I get it, right? No starters, just practice yesterday, so everyone calmed the belt down. Like I said, yo, I know the past few weeks we got some new subscribers, and welcome. But if you're looking for the cute and cuddly fake bullshit that everything was just fine, it's just preseason, relax, this might not be the community for you, but I'll be more than happy to refer you to some others, right? We ain't doing that, right? Football is football. You can still play hard regardless who's out there, right? And the fact that the starters wasn't out there, that was the whole original piece of the conversation. All right. Now, let's get into the quarterback situation. All right. Joe Milton. We all know, well, I know a lot of you guys know, when it comes to Joe Milton, he is talented as hell. I mean, his arm, like if on Madden, he should be like a 99 throwing power, bro. Like those throws he was making was incredible, right? But where Joe Milton was drastically lacking yesterday, and I think it's now we have to have a tough conversation up here. Up here. Now, some of you might not know, right? Let's kind of revamp. Let me put my draft wizard hat back on, right? Joe Milton isn't like Trey Lance, where he's extremely unexperienced, all right? No, even though him and Trey Lance are the same age, they're both 25 years old, right? But Joe Milton had, 3 years at Michigan? 3 years of SEC football at Tennessee? I expected Joe Milton to be ahead of the curve of where Trey Lance was from a mental aspect. Now, of course, Trey Lance has been in the NFL longer, right? But Joe Milton yesterday, it was very talent reliant, right? It was like someone who just knew, bro, I have this arm strength and I'm going to show it to the whole world. Whether you want to see it or not, I'm going to put my arm talent on display. All right, it's cool that you can throw pretty much damn near 90 yards falling off one foot, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy, right? And I think my guy RJ Ocha posted a video. What Joe Milton did yesterday, he was out there Happy Gilmore. He was out there Happy Gilmore. He was out there just driving the ball, you know what I'm saying? Driving the ball 1,000 yards, right? He was just knocking the ball off the tee. but there was no short game. There was no intermediary game. There was no check downs. He didn't really go through his progression smoothly, right? But he was just airing that thing out, right? So that we know that Joe Milton's extremely talented, but he now has a mass. Now, of course, I'm mixing that in with probably just anxiousness, nerves or whatever, bro. But he was just, bro, stop holding down the square button so damn hard. Relax. If you play Madden or NCAA football, his throwing power meter was red every throw. It was red throw Joe. Relax. Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Just give it a little tap, Joe. Goddamn. It's a swing pass. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Joe has some growing to do. All right. But here is my concern now when it comes to Joe. Trey Lance had Mike McCarthy, right? And even though Mike was probably on Trey Lance, right? Mike McCarthy is a guy who is very knowledgeable. Yeah, a little taparoo. Just a little just it's all in the hips, Joe. It's all in the hips, bro. Not the arm. It's all in the hips. All right. The one thing I can say about Mike McCarthy is a quarterback guy. All right. The one thing I can say about Kellen Moore is a quarterback guy. All right. So when it comes to Joe in this staff, who is going to mold him, right? He needs somebody to mold because he's extremely talented, right? But it was the same thing with Trey Lance, right? Who's going to mold him because he needs a lot of molding or he needs a dominant run game around him, right? So if he's going to go into this season as your quarterback too, he needs some molding. Now, I think he'll play much better probably moving out the course of the preseason. But, bro, it was just like, relax, bro. Like, relax. Like, he was throwing some missiles. There was a play to Ryan Flo yesterday. Ryan Flo was wide open. Joe said, know what? I'm going to give him 180 miles per hour fastball and sell that shit over Ryan Flo's head. You see what I'm saying? Like, God dang, dog. Like, relax. Breathe. You know what I'm saying? Breathe a little bit, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was dropping back and just launching that thing. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Your arm talent and typically arm talent quarterbacks, they have this gunslinger mentality, but you gotta rein it in a little bit when it comes to Joe. So we'll have to see, because if not, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now, I might differ from other content creators or other analysts, right? This is where I might separate the quarterback position. Me, I prefer people that can play the game, quarterbacks that can play the game up here versus those that can have all the physical traits but can't play it up here, right? So, like, for me, for instance, I like Brock Purdy. I know a lot of people hate Brock Purdy, but I can go into a game knowing that Brock Purdy might not win me the game, right, solely because of him, but he's really not going to fuck it up a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like quarterbacks like that. That's why I like Dak Prescott. Like, Dak Prescott has a little bit mixture of both, but Dak is not going to wow you, right, with the arm talent and all sorts of stuff, right? But I know Dak could run not Kellen Moore's system. He can run Mike McCarthy's system. He can run Brian Schottenheimer's system, you know, and be perfectly fine, right? And this is why I am a Shedeur Sanders fan, because Shedeur, though he doesn't have all the godly talent physically, he can play the game up here. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what I prefer as a quarterback. You know, and a lot of people get caught up in the arms and right? So that's just not my thing, all right? But I feel like Joe, he has to get it up here quickly, because if not, that wasn't it last night. And he kind of settled down like mid-second quarter. He kind of settled down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, yo, mods, Billy John, bang, bang. You know, like I said, I know when we did the video and the Micah video, our subscribers, we gained like 700 new subscribers, but we don't do cornballs shit in this community, y'all. We just don't. So Billy John, your last warning, or mods, shoot them in the middle of the street. Let the bodies hit the floor. You know what I'm saying? We're not about to do no cornball shit. Not when we got real football to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. I know some communities, they care about every little subscriber. Not over here. You know what I'm saying? Either you're going to get down or you're going to lay down. And we got people that will put you in the dirt. All right. So that's Joe Milton. The running back position, you know, even though Javonte didn't play, J-Dub, right? I liked what I saw from all three other running backs, right? When we got to actually see them, right? I felt like Deuce looked decent. Deuce made a little, right? What Deuce does. But of course, penalties negated that run. Phil Maffa, who's 11 of mods, you know what I'm saying? I got snipers all on the roof, you know what I'm saying? My dog Hoodie in the building too. Hey, we get them up out of here, dog. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? We ain't about to do none of that, you know what I'm saying? None of that goofy stuff. Not now. You know what I'm saying? All that time to play, you know what I'm saying? My dog talk, all that time to play and be goofy and be silly, that shit was back in June and July. We got real shit to talk about. We got Philly coming up soon. We ain't got time to play with Dak sucks shit. Hey, that was the summer shit, all right? But yeah, getting back to Deuce. Yeah, I agree, Big Sarge. When Deuce did get the carries, he looked good, right? And I think DMV, bro, you said this as well. Here is where I'm kind of getting sick of the Dallas Cowboys preseason mentality offensively. We have other shit to evaluate than just the backup quarterback. I get it, right? Joe Milton needs some reps, and we really want to kind of push Joe Milton and this and that, bro. But we have other shit to look at and evaluate than just the backup quarterback spot, you know? So I felt like what we saw the other day, and then what we saw definitely last year when Trey Lance was throwing the ball 60 damn times, some of those throws should have went to Deuce carries. Some of those throws should have been to see more Phil Maffa. You know, I get Malik Davis just coming in, but Malik Davis looked good, bro. Like, we have other shit to evaluate, bro. You know, Deuce did have some you know, had some wiggles, especially coming back off the injury, you know. But this is a real competition and a real conversation when it comes to running back. Can we get some more reps with that? You know what I'm saying? Phil Maffa ran with some burst yesterday, you know? And I know he had the conversation about the shoulder last year at Clemson or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So that what we saw yesterday was pretty new from Phil Maffa because he ran with some burst, right? Phil Maffa ran like a man who's trying to get a job, right? And of course, Austin Richards said, you know what, I ain't going to line up in the line of scrimmage, so he got called back. But I like what I saw from Phil Maffa, right? And I like a little bit that I saw from Deuce Vaughn. And I think Landlord said he's part of the team. And, you know, for me, I used to get slandered for this. I like Malik Davis, y'all. I'm not like saying he should be RB1 or anything like that, but he's a serviceable rotational back. I like Malik Davis, you know? And Malik Davis ran like a man who's just been out of work, you know? Golden opportunity. Now, I watched Malik Davis at Florida, you know what I'm saying? You know, right? So I know that he has it. We saw glimpses of it in the season that he got some carries that year with Zeke, you know, earlier on, right? So he has some traits about him that's quality. Now, he's not RB1, but he's a good rotational that you can kind of toss in there, right? But Malik Davis is serviceable, right? So I like what I saw from the running backs, overall, and I think that we need to see more. I get trying to get Joe Milton more reps and more snaps, bro, but there's other shit that we really need to see from these running backs, right? Yeah, like Ty, pass pro, right? Pass pro, who can really handle it, Who can really handle it? And I think there's different things that needs to be evaluated versus Joe Milton and his arm talent. You know what I'm saying? Versus Joe Milton and his arm talent. But I like what I saw from all three of them, right? I like what I saw originally from all three of them. Wide receiver battle is going to be a conversation, right? And I think that was the disappointing thing about Joe Milton's performance yesterday was, we really need to evaluate the wide receivers like I thought we was, right? Jalen Tolbert, we already know what Jalen Tolbert is, They were throwing screen passes to Jalen Tolbert, bro. Like, okay, he doesn't wiggle like that to throw screens to and bubble screens to, but, okay, all right? So, Jalen Tolbert is Jalen Tolbert, right? I feel like when it comes to Jalen Tolbert, we already know what he is, right? But just like Matt Lennox is saying, bro, my dog's saying, when Holden got the ball yesterday, the thing that I loved about Trayshawn Holden, and it was like one little play, right? The thing that I loved the most about the play that Trayshawn Holden had yesterday was when he got that ball, he ran like his life was on the line. When Trayshawn Holden got that ball yesterday, he ran like this might be my only catch, and I'm about to make the most out of it. The way that he planted, turned, and ran and hit upfield, he ran like this might be my only catch today, and I'm going to make 1,000% out of this opportunity. Right? So I love the hunger that Trayshawn Holden possesses, but also he's extremely talented, y'all. He's extremely talented. He is talented. He's not a Rudy Story, right? If you were to compare, and let's say they were in the same draft, right? And you guys know I like Jalen Tolbert, right? I love Jalen Tolbert. But if you put them in the same draft, I would have had Trayshawn Holden ranked over Jalen Tolbert. Because Jalen Tolbert's more of a downfield, just big play maker, right, in tight windows. But Trayshawn Holden is a complete wide receiver, right? You can give him that screen that you gave Jalen Tolbert, and he can make it. He can make something out of nothing, right? Yeah, it wasn't a lack of talent with him. It was the attitude, the mentality, But kids have to grow. I saw that he gave his life to God, and, he's growing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, people have to understand this. I get it. We're NFL analysts, and we watch the games, and we watch college football. What people have to understand, these are kids coming from a man who just dropped his son off at college today. Salute to my son Cam. He's now a Jayhawk officially, right? They're still kids, y'all. Talk to my son. He calls me, "Hey, Dad, what? I left my wallet and my debit card at the house." Bro, how do you pack everything for college except your wallet and your money? "Oh, no, I forgot." These are kids. You know what I'm saying? So, they're kids. They're literally, these kids are 20 years old, 21, 22, right? So to be like, "Oh, he's a problem," or "he has to grow up." You damn right he has to grow up. He's 22 years old, 23 years old. I didn't have my shit together, so I was damn near 30. right? So who am I to say these kids need to grow up, right? They're kids. So when it comes to Trayshawn Holden, I understand the situations and the stuff and the spitting and all that was happening in Oregon, but these are kids, y'all. You have to let them grow. And I feel like Trayshawn Holden being in Dallas, having this opportunity that wasn't presented for him, being paid the bare minimum, right, as an undrafted free agent, having Junior Adams, it's an opportunity for this kid to really grow. You know? And he's the type of kid, if I have to put him on special teams to block, I know he's going to give me 1,000%. If I have to put him on field goal team, he's going to give me 1,000%, right? If I just have to put this kid on the field somewhere, I am going to get 1,010%, right? And he also has the ability to go alongside with it, right? So I love what I saw from Trayshawn Holden. But hey, Jalen Brooks played well yesterday too with the opportunity, right? Jalen Brooks played well. You know, Mingo flash, right? But it was kind of hard with, Milton throwing 300 miles per hour, but Mingo flashed a little bit. So we'll have to see. You know, Josh Kelly was on special teams, you know. So we'll have to see how it continuously unfolds. But here's the thing that we have to be cautious of, Cowboys Nation. This is no longer camp, right? It's no longer Shoots John Machota and Clarence and all the people who do incredible work. The film is out there. Just like we saw that run, there's a scout in Indianapolis that saw that same shit too. All right. There's a scout in Detroit that saw them same Phil Maffa runs. You know? So now it's not about just stacking film for the Dallas Cowboys. They're stacking film for the NFL that will push you into a different circumstances. Because they saw it. They saw it. You know what I'm saying? They saw them Phil Maffa runs. Okay. He didn't have that burst in college. He ran pretty hard, right? So these players are out there competing not just for a job in Dallas, they're competing for a job in the NFL, and they're putting film out there. And I feel like Trayshawn Holden did. Jalen Brooks had a solid day. Really didn't get to see a lot of Mingo, right? But we'll see how that all unfolds, and you still have Jalen Tolbert out there as well. Offensive line, I didn't get to see much because it was a television angle. I really don't like to judge and rate offensive line unless I have the end zone angle, which I'll get to tomorrow probably, right? But from what I can see, TJ Bass played well, right? Nate Thomas played well for the minimal snaps that he got, right? I think they had Awesome Richards at center. I thought I saw Awesome Richards like go to center or something like that. Too crazy. Johnny played decent too. So our offensive line played decent yesterday. Brock Hoffman, Brock Hoffman's Brock, you know what I'm saying? So our offensive line played decent with the circumstances, right? They played much better yesterday than they did in the scrimmage. Now, there was no Jared Verse out there and shit like that, right? So that could have probably led to it. But overall, our offensive line played decent. But I'm really not going to grade them because I didn't watch it from the end zone angle, and I don't like to really grade defensive tackles or the trenches without the end zone angle, so I can see everything. So yeah, Ty, did Awesome Richards play center yesterday? I thought I saw it, you know what I'm saying? But there was so much going on. Tight ends yesterday. Really didn't focus on tight end too heavily, so I'm not even gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna really lie with tight ends, but that stuff I'll get to as I start to crunch this film. I know Lou texted me pretty much like at 6:30 this morning about the film. I was like, bro, I haven't gotten to it, but I'm gonna get to it, and y'all know once we get to it, we're gonna definitely turn it up. So we saw Awesome Richards at center. So that was interesting. That is on the offensive side of the ball. I know some people was talking about the play calling, the scheme, and this and that, right? And no slight to anybody, right? But listen, Cowboys Nation, it's Jay Tuck. Love y'all. We are going to talk now as a family. To all 345 of y'all watching right now, salute, right? But we're going to talk to you as a family, right? Huddle up. Come here. Come here. Come here. Huddle up, Cowboys Nation. What we are not going to do is blame the scheme, the play design, the play calling on 3 offensive coordinators in a row. Kelly in the option routes, right? Kellen doesn't know how to play call. Kellen with the play designs. All right, cool. Then it was Mike McCarthy don't like motion. Mike McCarthy in the Hicks and comeback route, that's a staple to any offense. But okay, Mike McCarthy's offense and play calling was prehistoric, even though Dak was almost a damn near MVP, right? We are not going to sit here and be like, oh, Clayton Adams and Brian Schottenheimer and their play. Bro. No. Nah, hey. 3's enough. You know what I'm saying? 3's enough. So we ain't going to sit here and just blame every offensive coordinator for our problems. You see what I'm saying? Like, hey, all right. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to have to pick a struggle, right? But we're not going to do that this year. So, like I said, it was very vanilla. Yesterday was just pickup ball. But even when you watch pickup ball, you can see who can hoop and who cannot. Right? Why you keep calling us Cowboys Nation, bro? We ain't the Raiders. I'm talking to Cowboys Nation because I call Cowboys Nation Cowboys Nation. I'm not sure what the Raiders do or what they call it or whatever they do, but here on CFO Sports, my channel that I grew from the basement, I'm using the term Cowboys Nation. And if you're really a Cowboys fan, you know we go by Cowboys Nation anyways, right? It's all over the Jumbotron at the game. Hashtag Cowboys Nation. All right? Stop fucking correcting me with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, chill. You know what I'm saying? Chill, right? Been doing this for 5 years now. I think I got it. I think I got it and understand what we call Dallas Cowboys fans. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag Cowboys Nation when you're at the games to get your photos on the Jumbotron. We are Cowboys Nation. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, all right. This is so for some of you who followed this channel for quite some time, this is the price you pay sometimes when you grow, because you'll start getting new people in here and they start acting weird. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro. Hey. Don't just move into the neighborhood and start telling us to turn our music down. You just got here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we Cowboys Nation. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You're new here. You moved to a new neighborhood, bro. But don't start telling us to turn our music down. We call ourselves Cowboys Nation. Right? Oh, you see here. Yeah. Y'all you get some new neighbors and they want to start, you know what I'm saying, some new neighbors and want to start telling you doing shit like, oh, make sure you don't put out your trash the night before Monday. Fool, if I want to put my trash out on Sunday night, I'm putting my shit out on Sunday night. Welcome to the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But you don't need to start making up new rules in the neighborhood because you just brought in a U-Haul. No, my trash going out Sunday night. And if a dog gets it, then a dog gets it, right? Pick it up. How about that? All right. Now, let's get into the defensive side of the ball, right? And one, let's just get it out the way. Maris Leofold looked fucking amazing yesterday. Maris looked amazing yesterday. I know Lou did a video on Maris, I think last week, right? Maris looked amazing yesterday. That boy was flying, communicating, dropping in coverage, coming downhill, patient, technically sound. If I'm Matt Eberflus, I like him. Oh, yeah. I like him. Yeah, facts, hoodie. Maris the Beast. if I'm Matt Eberflus, oh, I like him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I like him. I like him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Casting Cowboy. What up, J Tuck? What's good, Cowboys Nation? That's what we call ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what we call ourselves, Cowboys Nation. You know what I'm saying? I even call ourselves Cowboy. Maris looked amazing. Lou, I mean, it would have been nice to see them both out there so we can have some film to go off of, but I have no problems with Maris being that mic. IQ, whew, the way that he flows, traffic, it was buttery. Loved everything I saw from Maris. You and Mark Holmes would be a good duo for a video. Mark Holmes lit on the show like 2 weeks ago. It's out there somewhere. Just go search Mark Holmes, right? Mark Holmes is on the channel like 2 weeks ago. So yeah. When does Maris start? Shit, it better be week 1. 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 You know? So yeah. Yeah, Maris was by far our best defensive player yesterday. He was the one thing that got me excited yesterday, right? Because y'all know I love watching linebackers. So I was watching linebackers. Maris looked well. And then also, Tuck, there you go again, just doing shit. Tuck, there you go again, just doing shit. Shamar James is playing well yesterday, y'all. Not sure if you watched him because he got ugly ass 50 on. He got a number on there. You know what I'm saying? Like he had an ugly number on there. But number 50, Shamar James, coming off the edge, taking on blockers, flowing in traffic, scraping, dropping in coverage, almost had an interception. Shamar James was playing well yesterday. He was playing well yesterday. All right? And he has some growing to do, right? I think his size is going to be his limitation. But Shamar James, I was telling y'all, watch that kid, y'all. Watch that kid because he's wiry, you know? He's wiry. He's wiry as hell. Like, even go through his film at Florida, it's still up on the channel, right? Yeah, Shamar James looked good yesterday. So see my dog Sky in the building. Maris Sanborn week 1. Murray missing time early cost him. Maris ain't giving that back. Yeah, Sky. It need to be Maris and somebody. So to my dog Sky, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So to my dog Sky, by the way, man. One of the best in the game. It need to be Maris and somebody. I don't know who. Pick it. You know what I'm saying? Sanborn, I know, they're high on Sanborn. That's Eberflus's guy he brought from Chicago. And, Kenneth Murray had missed some time with the injury. It needs to be Maris and somebody. But Maris needs to be starting week 1. He ain't be starting week 1. You know what I'm saying? Even though I wanted some more players to play, there was a point yesterday. I was like, all right, Maris, we've seen enough. You know what I'm saying? We've seen enough. Go take your pads off. Go put your chains on and have some sunflower seeds and vibe out for the rest of the day. We've seen enough from you, Maris. It needs to be Maris and somebody starting week 1. But Shamar James looked well at the linebacker position as well. Defensive line, right? This is the hot topic button. I see everyone talking about it online. Mozzie, right? Here is what I'll say about the Mozzie Smith situation. If you had realistic expectations for Mozzie, then you're not too low about what you saw yesterday, right? You're not too low about what you saw yesterday from Mozzie Smith, right? But if you're that person who really anchored in that Mozzie was going to be a guy that's going to be the anchor for this defense and, he's going to take a massive leap and forward and do this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, right? I just don't think, y'all, Mozzie is ever going to live up to the expectation of being a Dallas Cowboy first round pick. And it's not Mozzie's fault, right? It's not Mozzie's fault, because sometimes what happens is your draft positions puts unrealistic expectations on you, right? Same thing with Trey Lance, right? Everyone's like, oh, Trey Lance is the bust, and Trey Lance is this, and Trey Lance is that. Nobody told San Francisco to trade up and get this kid with minimal reps and minimal experience. San Francisco did that. If Trey Lance was a 4th-round pick or a 5th-round pick like Shedeur, he would be perfectly fine, right? I feel like it's the same thing for Mozzie. If you take things with a grain of salt, wave your wand, right? And here in Kansas City, we actually got Mozzie Smith in the 5th round, you're okay, right? If Mozzie Smith was a guy that we got with the comp pick we got in the 5th, right? Then you're okay with Mozzie and how Mozzie's looking. But if you're expecting 1st-round talent dominance from Mozzie Smith, I just don't think you're ever going to get what you're looking for, to be honest with you. So that's what I'll say about Mozzie. Did he look great yesterday? No. Did he look horrible yesterday? No. He just looks like Mozzie. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you take Mozzie and like Tristan Hillish type, you're going to get some good plays every now and then. But don't expect for that guy to be the guy that we can lean on. He's never going to be Jalen Carter, y'all. I know that was a conversation that some people wanted to have even before Jalen Carter went to Philly and Mozzie came to Dallas. It was a conversation, right? It was never going to be that ever in life. Ever. It was never, ever going to be comparable in life. Mozzie was like a 3rd-round grade on my book, and it was a late 3rd-round grade, right? But the Cowboys needed a run stopper, and they figured that was the guy. But that wasn't on Mike McCarthy. That wasn't on Dan Quinn. That was a Dallas Cowboys front office Will McClay pick. You know? Yeah, he's not even he's not Davis. He's not Milton Williams. I mean, he's not even Javon Dexter. I think Javon Dexter went to Chicago, in the 4th or 5th, something like that, right? He was never going to be that, right? Mozzie reminds me of a big kid that Pops made him play football and is always ready to go home and eat. Yeah, bro, like, I think, and here's the thing, Sky, about that, right? Mozzie was able in college, right, to get away with just being bigger and stronger than everybody. Right? And we've all seen it, right? We all seen, like, even in Little League, right? We see, like, my kids used to play basketball, and some kid, he just hit a growth spurt super early. You know what I'm saying? He already 5'8", 5'10", in, like, the 4th grade or some shit, you know, and we think that, oh, he's super talented. But, bro, you're just bigger than the other kids. You know what I'm saying? You're just bigger than other kids right now. But then, once you start to develop and the kids are the same height and the same size, you're not that same kid anymore, right? And we had a kid coming up. Salute to Sergio, man. There's a kid named Sergio Roman. We thought playing basketball, Sergio Roman was going to be the next LeBron James. Like, he could do it all. But the problem with Sergio was he just developed before all of us. He was like 6'2", damn near in 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? And so everyone thought Sergio was, and then by the time everyone caught up with him, no disrespect to Sergio, you know what I'm saying? Let's my guy, right? He was just average. You know what I'm saying, bro? You know what I'm saying? You just average, right? That's the thing with Mozzie Smith. It's just like, okay, if you can no longer just rely on your strength, now you have to work on technique. Now you have to work on get off, right? Now you have to work on this to beat NFL centers and guards, bro. These are grown-ass men with kids and families too. You're not going to be able to push them around from NFL game. You're going to have to learn the game from a different aspect, and I just don't think Mozzie is there yet. So overall, Mozzie, you know, it depends on what's your expectations. I'm not going to say he's a bust, right? I think he was just who he was, and he's always going to be who he is. He can play off his strength. He'll have a few plays here and there, low gas mileage, and you're going to need some extra people behind him. Perion Winfrey, right? My guy Perion Winfrey played decent yesterday. I will say this when it comes to Perion Winfrey, though. I don't like him at one tech, though. That's not him. Perion Winfrey is a 3 tech, right? I don't think he's a 1 tech. You know what I'm saying? That's not him in the trenches, right? He needs to be in that rotation as a 3 tech. I don't like Perion Winfrey as a 1 tech, but he did have some get off. But even with Perion Winfrey, technique. There was sometimes he was just firing off, right? I get the fire off, right? I get the physicality, but technique sometimes. You can't be spinning around, turning your back and all sorts of shit, especially when you start playing against the upper echelon offensive lines, right? But I'll do say a surprise for me. I know he got hurt a little bit. I like Peyton Turner. I like what I saw from Peyton Turner before the injury. You know, I like what I saw from Peyton Turner. And Peyton Turner is another guy, right, who has that talent, right, but didn't put it together fully, right? But I like what I saw from Peyton Turner yesterday, so hopefully he can keep that up because he does have those traits that you're looking for from a defensive lineman. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's utilized. But I like what I saw from Peyton Turner. Mozzie's a bust based on what the Cowboys thought about him drafting him in the first round. I mean, from that standard, you can say it, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, that was them. Yeah, Lou, Winfrey's a finesse 3 tech, right? I feel like Winfrey or Perion is that. Also, Tommy Akingbah-Sote had a few good reps yesterday. He's a 3 tech. Jay Toye is who we've been trying to explain to people who he is, right? He's big, he's physical, but he still has a lot of work to do. I know he had a good Senior Bowl and whatnot, and he went to the 7th round, right? But he still has a lot of work to do. He's not a guy you can rely on stopping Saquon Barkley in the Eagles week 1. None of these guys are. So as Lou been saying, I've been saying, so many people's been saying, respect the 1 tech, but Matt Eberflus seems to have something different up the sleeves. Want to sit back and wait and see. But he had one in Chicago. I don't know why he ain't bring one to Dallas, right? So we'll have to sit back and see. Perion Winfrey. Okay, Donovan Ezekaraku yesterday. I feel like Donovan played decent. And I'm not sure if this is being coached for Donovan, but for some reason, we're not seeing the full toolbox from Donovan, right? There's a lot of bull rushing, right? Push and pull, right? Meaning you're getting off in their chest, right? Pulling, then ripping, right? Saw a lot of that from Donovan. That's not really his strong point. You know, to play with power and strength. You know, he's more finesse as well, even though Donovan in college was good against the run as well. But there was a lot of bull rushing. So maybe it's something they're working on specifically. But I want to see a little bit more in the toolbox from Donovan. But overall, he had a decent day. You know what I'm saying? Overall, he had a decent day, but nothing too crazy. We already went over Shamar James. Zion Childress, who I told you guys to keep an eye on, I feel like he played well, and I feel like he's going to be an interesting conversation piece, especially playing in the inside corner, depending on what happens with Deron Bland. Who I think they're going to keep on the outside, so it'll probably be Bland, Elam, and then the inside is going to be open. Now, what we all knew, it's not breaking news, it's not dun, 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 right? No breaking news alert. We have problems at corner, y'all. We have serious issues at the cornerback position. We have serious issues at the cornerback position. I posted this yesterday, but there was a tweet I had from 2022. And it said, trust me, I am an ACC guy. I know that he gets beat deep a lot. If I'm the Cowboys, I am torching Andrew Booth with Michael Gallup. That was prime Michael Gallup. Repeatedly. Andrew Booth constantly, I'm not sure because I really don't watch his film because I just kind of I know how he was back at Clemson. He gets beat deep constantly. Now, it was a hell of a catch. It was a tight-ass window, but Andrew Booth gets stacked a lot, right? And we've seen it through his tenure in Dallas, but it goes all the way back to college. You know, Andrew Booth gets stacked a lot. You know, you did have Hall Rochelle out there. You know, but that's not it. I'm not sure who the hell Izzy McQuamu has pissed off in Dallas. Probably need to apologize, bro. But to see the corners that were still out there starting in preseason over Izzy McQuamu, a 6'4" freak that can play coverage and safety or also corner, I don't understand it, right? I really don't understand why Izzy isn't getting more opportunity, right? He played okay, but the one thing I like about Izzy, Henny, bro, is that I know Izzy's going to compete, right? He's going to compete because even with that interception, that was so he was kind of out of placement on that, but he scrapped for that ball, right? And so if I have a specimen who's 6'4", competitive as all get out, right? And he's experienced, has played in playoff games, like I feel like he should get opportunity over some of the guys that were before him. But I just don't understand the hesitancy, right? I think Izzy McQuamu, he's a guy, and some players are like this, right? Some guys are practice players, right? Some guys, they're in practice and camp when nobody else is watching, that's when they turn up, right? I feel like Izzy's just a gamer that when it's game time and it's competitive, I don't want to say juices because y'all want to say pause, right? But that competitive spirit is kind of flowing. That's when Izzy is best. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's when Izzy is best. Now, he does still need a lot of workout, you know, and cleanup, right? But he's competitive as all get out. I don't understand the hesitancy when it comes to Izzy, but overall, he looked decent. I didn't break down the film, you know, watch the corners, because like I said, you can't see half the shit. Didn't really get into safeties beside the box guys. I feel like Marquise Bell played decent yesterday, had a few tackles. I think he had a concussion or a shoulder injury yesterday. Didn't get to see a lot of Elijah Clark because he was playing the free. He was kind of out the photo, so didn't have the film on Elijah Clark safety. But if there's a player, a UDFA that you guys should circle, and I've been telling guys this, circle Elijah Clark. He's a free space. He's a free space. He's a free space to make this team. He's a free space. That's a free spot, right? He's a free spot. Yeah, exactly. I feel like Bell, Wanye, they're just gamers, right? Some players are just gamers. Like when it's time to play, you know, that's when they're on, you know. But practice, you know, it might be a little bit lackluster, right? But when it's game time and it's actually time to hit, because what people have to understand, defensively, right? This was the first time these players had actually had to tackle since last year, whatever they played last year, right? Because all they've been doing is teeing off in practice, right? So the tackling needs a lot of cleanup, right? So, you know, it was the first preseason game, but there's a lot of different things that needs to be cleaned up defensively and offensively. But we'll see how it progresses. But this gives us a good baseline for our evaluation. You kind of sit back and say, okay, right? Tackling was a little bit lackluster yesterday. Can we grow from that, right? Well, can we grow from it? But overall, y'all, like I said, I'm not too disappointed. You know, a lot of people are just like, right? Here's what I've been trying to tell everybody. I said this in a space yesterday with my dog, Nix, right? Don't swing too high and don't swing too low. stay right in the middle and just evaluate, right? Just evaluate, right? Some guys play well, like Maris, Phil Maffa, Deuce, Trayshawn Holden, Shamar, Peyton Turner. It's like some guys play well, Elijah Clark, Zion, right? So just stay right in the middle right now, Cowboys Nation. Relax. Right? A lot of people want to swing, oh my God, the season's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, or, oh my God, we going to the Super Bowl. Just stay right here in the middle and just evaluate. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Yeah, Lou, that was the most disappointing thing for me, right? I understand the big names, but there were players out there, they should have been suited and booted, bro. They should have been suited and booted, bro. For Tyler Booker not to get reps as a rookie, how do you explain it? How do you explain that? Like, even Tyler Guyton got reps last year as a rookie in preseason. You know. Vincent, man, appreciate the super chat, man. Says nobody breaks it down like you. Appreciate you, man. There's others in the game that break it down, bro. Did a phenomenal job. Sky, Lou, JC, DMV, list goes on, man. I just do my part. You know what I'm saying? I just do my part, man, but I appreciate the super chat. Yeah, Booker should have played, bro. A rookie? I'm seeing Cam Ward out there, right? I'm seeing, Tua, who's probably one of the most fragile players in the league right now. I'm seeing Pat Mahomes. I'm seeing Joe Burrow. I'm seeing Amari Hampton and, other premium value picks out there. But Tyler Booker don't need no reps. I don't know about that one. Right? And I love him, right? He's one of my favorites on the squad. Cooper Beebe should have been out there too. Like, come on, bro. Come on, dog. Come on. Says Shotty gave those guys an opportunity to compete all out in the joint practice, and they didn't. Right? And they did not. They didn't look good in the joint practice. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look good in the joint practice. Because like that's what Tua was saying, right? I forgot who the Dolphins scrimmage. The Dolphins had a scrimmage. Tua didn't look good. And so he argued and fought with the front office and the team to let him play some preseason, bro. Shotty, let me talk to you, dog. Shotty, hold up. This ain't last year. I'm saying last year. Last year we had the Cleveland Browns. We had the Cleveland Browns week 1. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's Cleveland. All right, no disrespect to Cleveland. We had the Cleveland Browns week 1. Okay, so then you can put Jalen Tolbert in his chains and let him eat some sunflower seeds. Bro, we had the Super Bowl champions on the road opening night in front of the entire NFL. We need to be clicking on all cylinders. So it's okay for some of these players to get a series or two. I'm not saying Tyler Booker need to play all the way in the fourth quarter. Mozzie should have, right? But Sam Williams, no. Tyler Booker, no. Cooper Beebe, no. Kenneth Murray, no. Jack Sanborn, no. Javonte Williams, no. If I can sit out and watch Devon A-Chain get preseason reps, I can see Javonte Williams getting preseason reps, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's the message that you've been preaching all offseason. You got compete, right? Just didn't see it. Felt like 5 guys moved the depth chart. Maffa, Maris, Perrion, Izzy, Holden. Special shout out to Malik. I think I would agree with you there. I would agree with you there. I mean, even though it's an unofficial depth chart, you would think their performance should move them up, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Appreciate that one. Carlos, appreciate the super chat, says, these players keep getting baby. Let these dudes play. Why are they sitting out like they're champions? Play a series or two at least. I'm not saying play deep into the third. Play a full half. You were a 7-win team last year. You have a brand new coaching staff on both sides of the ball. You play the Super Bowl champions opening night. You shouldn't be, everything's good, everything's comfortable. Yeah. Like you shouldn't, I don't know. You shouldn't want to go out to Philly and experiment, right? And this is where we messed up last year. We were so focused on last year evaluating Trey Lance and letting Trey Lance throw the ball 60 times. We went into the season not even knowing who our true running back was. Was it Zeke? Was it Rico? Deuce was getting reps, right? Because we were so focused on getting Trey Lance 60 to 70 throws, we went into the season experimenting, not knowing who our guy is, right? I don't want to go versus Philly experimenting. Is it Miles Sanders? Is it Javonte? Should it be Jadon Blue? Should it be Phil Maffa? Like, I shouldn't be having these questions week 1. Because you're not going to know. Miles Sanders has an injury. Jadon Blue's in a walking boot right now. You have Javonte Williams with his chains on eating sunflower seeds. Phil Maffa looked good. Deuce looked decent, right? But we should have this settled before we get to Philadelphia. Unless you've already made your decision. And for me, from hearing a coaching staff in an organization that's been telling me in interviews that no job was safe, everyone's going to compete, everyone's going to fight, we're going to push each other, it feels like Javonte Williams is safe to me. It feels like Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn seem awfully safe to me, right? Tyler Booker as a rookie, you're safe. You're safe. You know, it's just counterintuitive to everything that we've been hearing all offseason. The paintball, the basketball, the pickleball, and all that shit, competing there was cool. But when you had a chance to compete versus the Rams in the scrimmage, it was lackluster. And then when you had a chance to compete yesterday, everybody was chilling, eating sunflower seeds. Yeah. CeeDee Lamb, you know, Denver got injured on the sideline, right? I don't know, Lou. It's just the mindset. Like I said, I don't know if it's coming from Shoddy or it's coming down from the front office, but whoever it's coming from is extremely countering everything that we've been told this offseason. Everything we've been told, right? If you sit and say no job is safe and you keep out certain people who just got here, Javonte Williams just got here. Jack Sanborn just got here. Kenneth Murray just got here. Technically, Tyler Booker just got here. If I can sit back and say I've seen Ezekiel Elliott, I've seen CeeDee Lamb, I've seen Tyler Guyton, I've seen Micah Parsons participate in preseason as rookies. Tyler Booker should have been out there. Tyler Booker should have been out there, bro. But I digress. But overall, that's preseason game 1. We play Saturday versus the Ravens and Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush comes to Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Cooper Rush, big return. All right. Yeah. Hey, y'all, get Billy John up out of here. Just go ahead and actually, you know what? I got something for you, Billy John. Bang. Pew. All right. Yeah, Javonte got 1 year, $3 million, and he's over there with his chains on eating sunflower seeds. We want to protect it. I don't know. I do not know what is going on. But appreciate y'all, man. We got over 400 people watching right now. Subscribe to the channel. Like the channel. Keep the content flowing. I want to share something quickly with y'all. Get this queued up here. And yeah, so let me see here. And then we're going to turn the phone lines on and let y'all call in here. Let me see here. All right. Get this pulled up here for y'all. I should have had it already queued up, but y'all know I've been vibing, chilling Sunday, man, watching some Stranger Things. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching some Stranger Things, man, and kind of vibing. So this, where is it? Where you at, dog? Where you at? Where you at? Where is it? Okay. I'm gonna find it. All right, so boom, there. And I want to share, boom, a quick message from my guy, fam, Mr. Dez Bryant. So a lot of you guys know, I've been working with Dez for over a year now, which is crazy because time definitely flies, right? We've been building and working on this at nauseum, right? I mean, it's been a lot. It's a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? A lot of work, a lot of sacrifice to the whole team. Salute to Dez, salute to Steady and Jay, myself, Kev, Cam, Derek, everybody behind the scenes that's been putting in work, Dill, for this work to build what we're doing. So we're going to be launching. It's actually already launched. But here's a message from my dog, Dez Bryant. And definitely join, man.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting the movement. The team been busting their ass. Man, we plan on doing a whole bunch of cool shit leading up to this NFL season, man. For the ones who don't know, we dropped our Patreon August 8, 88 date. Shout out to all of the 88s across the football nation. May the football guys be with you this year. But yeah, man, we dropped our free tier. If you're a supporter of me, supporter of the X team, man, make sure you go claim that free stuff, man. We got a bunch of cool shit we giving away. We giving $88 away of fan cash. That's gonna go on the entire weekend. If you don't know what to do with the fan cash, download the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go make a bet. If you don't want to do that, go buy a piece of merch. Go buy a jersey or something to support your favorite team. I've been dropping exclusive content. This is all within the free tier. I'm doing giveaways. I just want to give back. You support me, I support you. Also, I'm still, looking for those 20 cappers. I'm going to have those 20 cappers, by midday Monday. I got to make sure I got the right cappers supporting the movement, because what I plan on doing for these cappers is going to be super dope shit. So yeah, I appreciate all the people that's been supporting. I promise you it's going to be a hell of a year. We're doing big shit. Let's go.
All right. So that's from my dog, Dez, man. So you can join the Patreon. It is free. Now, there are different tiers, right? In the different tiers, you get more quality stuff. Like Dez literally gave out $88. So all you have to do, I'm going to post this
as I walk into the gym,
in the chat. Help me post in the
I just
chat,
want to say,
if you sign up for the Patreon, right, and let them know y'all came from CFO gang when y'all join, right? Sign up for the Patreon, It is free. He's giving you $88 to Fanatics. Now, for your sports bettors like myself, you can use that $88 of fan cash to go and sports bet, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you don't sports bet, you can use that fan cash and buy you a new hat. You can go buy you a new jersey, right? A Phil Maffa jersey for $88. All you have to do is just sign up and just, that's it, right? Now, that's just the free tier, but he's doing exclusive content. He did an interview with Marshawn Lynch, right? So everything's going to be done in that Patreon. But also what's going to happen, y'all, is that once we launch the tailgates in Dallas, certain members will get certain access, right? So if you might be the gold member, you might get to, be on stage with Dez and have first dibs at meet and greets and autographs and all sorts of stuff, right? So let me go ahead and post a link to the Patreon. You can sign up right here. And it's free to join, but you can also, upgrade your membership. It's just like anything else, man. But there's a lot of dope stuff going on in that Patreon. The team has been working crazy. It's not just a sports betting thing. There will be some sports betting stuff in there, right? So if you're a sports bettor, we'll be locking in some bets. But if you want to get autographed, he just gave someone like $400. Where did he give somebody yesterday? He gave someone like $500 yesterday for guessing how many throws that Cam Ward was going to do. The guy guessed 8, you know what I'm saying? And he got $500 from Dez Bryant, man. So, it's going to be some big stuff going on. Like I said, the team, we've been working on this like crazy. Sign up because this football season is going to be insane. So here's a video of him and Marshawn. I can play a little clip of it. Hold on.
Hold on. You ain't even heard the fuckery yet. Dang. Ooh, that hammy. Oh, hold on. This is the best part. That shit kind of do something to you on another level, bro. I gotta snap into reality. Like, you know what? I ain't never made that kind of money before. Hey, did that 20 million clear?
Yeah, it's exclusive content
and everything.
All sorts of stuff, man. So if you love 88, love Dez, man, definitely lock in to that Patreon. I posted it in the links, comments below. All right, y'all. So we about to turn on the phones here. Let's not go too long. So I got Amari and Hampton coming up. What time did the game start? Hold on, let me see. What time Amari and Hampton play? If he's going to play that. But I got to watch my guy, Devin Neal. Hold on, let me see. So they play at 3. All right. So we got about 20, 25 minutes. So let's keep it moving with the phone lines. And let's keep things moving. So boom, 530-399-4100. Access code 506-9493, smash pound. And go ahead and call in, talk to me, Cowboys Nation. I want to see how y'all feeling after watching the very first preseason game for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see here. Go ahead.
All participants are on hold.
Right, so go ahead and give me a call if you want to chat real quick, and we're going to vibe out. Like I said, we played the Ravens next Saturday. I probably won't get to watch that game depending on the time. I'm going back to Vegas. Y'all know I just took my mom and my boys to Vegas. This time I'm taking my wife for my birthday. And for her birthday, she wants to go see the Backstreet Boys. So I might be at a Backstreet Boys concert when the Cowboys are playing, but the sacrifices that you have to make for the ladies of the house, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know no Backstreet Boys songs, right? And I found out wearing NSYNC gear or repping NSYNC at the Backstreet Boys is like wearing a Cowboys jersey to an Eagles game. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I like NSYNC. And my wife was like, if you rep NSYNC at the Backstreet Boys concert, the next time I go to a Cowboys game, I'm going to wear an Eagles jersey. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, that's basically what you're doing. So I ain't know Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, there's this beef between the two, but I guess so. But I always like NSYNC's music because I felt like they made better music than the Backstreet Boys. But it just is what it is. I don't want no problems because if my wife was to ever wear an Eagles jersey to a Cowboys game, I'm going to be a single man. I'm going to be back on the market because I ain't putting up with that. Hell to the no now. All right, callers, call in. Let's get it real quick. 530-399-4100. Access code 506-9493 and pound. All right. Let's get it. Yo, caller, state your name. Where are you from?
What's going on, Tuck? This your boy, Hoodie Kush from the Basement Boys. How you?
Hey, what's going on, my dog, man? How you feeling, man, after that first preseason game?
It's evaluation time. I'm not tripping.
Right.
I mean, like, could Joe Milton have calmed down a lot sooner?
Mm-hmm.
I wish he did, but I mean, what's done is done.
Right.
It's just something to learn from now. It's on film. You can go back and watch it. You can go ahead and critique yourself, Joe Milton. You know what I'm saying? And like, damn, I was a little too high strung right there. Everything was a dart.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
And like nothing easy. I made it worse on myself.
Right.
I had open receivers. I overshot them, or I threw fucking darts behind them.
Right.
So I mean, like, it's all evaluation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not too high. I'm not too low. I'm right in the center. I'm chilling.
Right. Yep.
And there were some good things that happened yesterday. I mean, it wasn't all bad. You know, once everybody got settled, defense included. You know what I'm saying? Because in the beginning of the game, the first quarter, it looked like the Rams could have ran away with it early. You know what I'm saying? Because defensively, if it wasn't for Maris Leofau, you know what I'm saying, if it wasn't for Shamar James, you know, we probably would have had a worse time in the linebacker room.
Right.
But those two guys, they played lights out. I mean, again, that wasn't all bad. There were things that just, you know, it's a learning lesson. So
Right.
for some of these guys, this is their first preseason.
Right.
Preseason. For others, it's their first time playing with this group of gentlemen under a new head coach and a new scheme and new defensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is so brand new.
Right.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's not okay, but I mean, me personally, I wouldn't critique these gentlemen as hard. But what I will say is, these are the things that you need to fix. Just like you can highlight the good plays, you got to highlight those negative plays, so that way they understand, like, this can be changed.
Right.
If we want to get to where we want to get to, you know what I'm saying, these things can be changed. So
yeah,
I'm chilling.
Yeah. And you spot on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all this is evaluation, right? It's all this is, gives the opportunity to evaluate. Because think about this. When we're watching, let's say, Joe Milton, right? When we were watching Joe Milton at camp, all we were getting was the highlight plays, right? So we were getting, you know, oh, Joe Milton hit, you know, Jalen Tolbert for a 60-yard bomb, and it's all over Twitter, right? But we wasn't seeing the extra that was going on with the other throws. You see what I'm saying? So now we can sit back and evaluate and say, okay, there's some good things that he does. There's actually some great things that he does, but there's a lot of work with this. It's all the ways about talking about the positives and the negatives and help getting this team prepared for real football in the regular season. I think that's what people lose. You know, people are like, oh, it's just preseason. No. There's stuff that needs to be worked on and cleaned up as we get prepared for Philadelphia. So we can't go with that mindset that this doesn't matter. Yes, some of that stuff does matter, right? And we can evaluate, and hopefully that they do it as well and get ready, man. So like overall, I guess, yeah, don't swing too high, don't swing too low, and stay right in the middle, man. So.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you got to understand, not only is it these new players learning a new system, there's a first-time head coach. Not saying that he hasn't been a play caller before, because he has, but he openly admitted to wanting to run a vanilla preseason. He didn't want to go out there firing on all cylinders, because it's all going on film. You know what I'm saying? So now that tips your hand a little bit. We know why Sean McVay did what Sean McVay did.
Right.
Sean McVay is all gas, no brakes. You know what I'm saying? It's just like some of these other head coaches. They're all gas, no brakes. So they want to put some of their best stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? Because to them, preseason matters. To us, preseason should matter. But the only way it should matter is if we're using it as a true evaluation and critiquing moment. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way it should matter. It shouldn't matter if you go 3-0 or 0-3. Did you learn something? Are we going to go into the season, you know, still playing the same way we played in preseason? No, because it was a vanilla offense. He's not showing you anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And here's what you also have to think about, Hoodie. Remember last year, Stetson Bennett played horrible versus us. So I'm sure that he wanted to kind of redeem himself from his performance last year as well. So yeah, it's just different. It's just different things, right? Sean McVay, when it comes to him, we've all seen it. He's won a Super Bowl. There's nothing that he needs to hide, right, when it comes to his scheme and philosophy. So he's doing a little extra. Stetson Bennett has already been in-house with the Rams, so he already knows the play calling. So he's a little bit deeper in it. I kind of compare people. Think about this for preseason because Madden came out, right? When Madden first comes out, you don't know the full playbook. You might know some stuff that you knew from maybe last year, but you don't know the ins and outs of there. So you're very vanilla with your play calling, right? Versus by the time you get to November, you're going, oh, man, I ran this play 1,000 times. I know this. Oh, this is this new play. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to know things. We're still in the opening days of Madden. We are running very basic stuff, but the one thing we can still critique and evaluate is the traits of some of these players, which is first for me the exciting part.
Facts. You know what we found out yesterday?
What's that?
We found out that our backup wide receivers can get open.
Oh yeah,
that's what we found out yesterday.
Yeah, now he's got to hit. Now he's got to hit him. Now he's got to hit him. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to hit him and get him in stride, right? But that's a positive.
You know what else we found out? We found out. Well, we already knew this, but we found out it's not just one linebacker that's a dog in the room. Shamar James is also a dog in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because Joe Milton went out there nervous and Nelly and threw the ball everywhere else but in a wide receiver's hands in the first quarter and a half, doesn't mean that everything else was all bad. Because it wasn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe Milton settled down. He completed 17 of 29 passes. It could have been worse.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
It could have snowballed, and it didn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's pump the brakes real quick. You know what I'm saying? And just enjoy it. For one, enjoy watching your team.
Right.
Enjoy watching the Cowboys because I'm enjoying it. But at the same time, understand this is an evaluation period.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Exactly, bro. And I feel like I get it. Our fan base is so big, so a lot of people might watch preseason for different reasons. Like, I'm not watching. I didn't want Joe Milton to put out an MVP caliber performance, right? I want to critique everything. I'm watching, trying to watch the offensive line. I'm trying to watch the linebackers. I'm trying to watch all sorts of things. Versus some people like, oh well, we lost. So I'm like, bro, like it's not even about that, right? So I understand it, but for the people who really want to see this team do well and that's really focused on the growth of this team and want to hit an early start, we are just watching preseason for evaluation, right? It's going to look completely different once we get to the regular season. Half these people are probably not even going to be out there, which is still discouraging for me. But that's where we are. So,
I mean, that's all. I mean, like and that's the sad reality,
right?
You know what I'm saying? As much as we may want these guys to do well in the preseason, most of these dudes ain't even going to be on the team,
right? Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, most of these dudes probably won't even be here next year. So there's no guarantee. So enjoy it while you got it. But for me, I'm as a fellow content creator, making my way into this space, I want to be able to have the football intelligent conversations with the CFOs, the CFTs, you know what I'm saying, the Law Nations, the angry Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to have those intelligent football conversations about the game today. You know what I'm saying? Like, not yesterday's game, not last year's. No, the game today.
Right.
Because no matter what, we got to keep moving forward, right?
Right.
So,
facts.
And that's what this team has to do.
Facts, my dog. Facts, my dog. This was all about contacts matters, man. For everybody who might be hearing from you, like I said, you launched a new channel, bro. Let everybody know they can find you, my guy.
You can find me on YouTube at the moment. I will be expanding as much as possible. Everything is just getting into motion. You can find me on YouTube at the Basement Boys podcast. I do a lot of live videos, just giving my opinion, because it's not a critique, so to speak, but it's just more of my opinion of what I'm seeing about the nature of our Cowboys.
Nice.
And hopefully people can come through, man. Check it out. Just
definitely follow, man.
It costs you nothing to be nice.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Facts, my dog. Well, hey, man, appreciate you, man. Keep doing great work, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
Be good, bro.
You too. Yeah, I think that's what people are missing. It's just evaluation, practice test. Right? It's practice test. Now you can know where you really stand, right? As we kind of gear up for different things. So we'll sit back and see here. All right, so we got another caller. Yo, caller, state your name. Where you from?
Man, it's your boy Henny the Moon.
What's up?
From the liquor store, man. How you living, Tuck?
Hey, what's up, dog? Man, I need to figure out how to do this. 'Cause I know I can go in here and like change. Oh, I think I can change the names for these phone calls, and that way I kind of know who's calling in. Here, I figured it out. What's up, my dog? What's going on with you, bro?
Man, nothing. Just sitting back, relaxing, man. I don't just talk about the preseason game, man. I'm not really. The only thing I'm really disappointed in is how Joe Milton played.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of everything else, it was shit we knew about.
Right.
We knew we couldn't stop the run. Like, nobody should be amazed the Dallas Cowboys gave up over 100 yards rushing. Like,
Right.
we have not been able to stop the run for years
Right.
at this point.
Right.
So that was really a moot point.
Right.
So for the folks that are outraged about that, you knew maybe they did drink the Kool-Aid and they thought that UCLA was
Henny, there was a lot of Kool-Aid cups being passed around this year, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people drinking. I feel like that's what the disappointment was. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, you told me, like, no, don't put that on. Ain't no you on Tuck. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling everybody to be patient. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So a lot of people who drank them Kool-Aid cups is now like, pih, because what is in this? I'm like, hey, bro, you know, we'll have to sit back and wait and see. So yeah, I understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, folks like to hope.
Right.
But, you know, if you stay ready, man, they say you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Right.
Like, little stuff like that. Like, if you went out and you had actually addressed the defensive tackle position, you would sleep a lot better at night. You wouldn't be sitting up here with your hopes and dreams relying on a 7th-round pick out of UCLA, not even really a top 5 power school or anything like that.
Right.
So I get it. Like, you know, fan is short for fanatic. I know folks are a little bit crazy about the Dallas Cowboys, but we got to have honest conversations sometimes about the personnel on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dallas Cowboys will, listen, they will not be able to stop the run this year. You're just going to have to hope you get into your magical 2021, 2023 bag, you run the score up, and teams get scared and stop running football. That is your best defense against the run this year, because you ain't got the horses in the stable to run that kind of race right now.
Right.
It just is what it is.
Right.
You know, so maybe they go out and address defensive tackle in free agency. I know Raekwon Davis is still available. Isaiah Buggs, you know, still trying to audition, you know, for NFL teams after extending the UFL. Like, there's some guys, you know, that you could possibly bring in and be better than what you got.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that just is what it is. And as for Joe Milton, he is exactly, you know, who folks think Joe Milton was. He was a big, strong, athletic quarterback with an arm and no touch and no accuracy.
Bro, that arm is crazy though, bro. Like, you'll say, like, when he threw that interception, I was like,
he threw the prettiest interception I ever saw.
Bro, you know, when Jerry Jones back, some of y'all might not remember this, right? You know, Jerry Jones at one says when Brandon Wheaton was our quarterback, he throws the prettiest deep ball I ever seen. Nah, bro, Joe Milton threw the prettiest, cleanest, most exciting interception I've ever seen in my life. I was like, bro, is that about to get to the end zone? You know what I'm saying? And it was like flick of the wrist type throws. You know what I'm saying? So it's exciting as hell, but there's no touch to it. If he learns that, he could be a serious threat, bro. But that cannon, dog. I was like, is that going all the way to bro, he made it all the way to the end zone, falling off his back foot off a play action bootleg. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, God.
Like, you're not supposed to be able to make those kind of throws.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's God given. You know what I'm saying? That's a guy, like I said, that was the prettiest INTs I've ever seen in my life, bro. He ran a naked bootleg and just casually threw that bitch like 70 yards. And I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? If it would have came down with it, it would have been a clean touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Yeah. And shit, you know, and really he's on the opposite end of the spectrum of Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
One of the knock on Shedeur, he don't have arm strength.
Right.
But he got all the touch in the world.
Right.
You go back and look at that touchdown he threw in the back corner of the end zone. He perfectly fit in between two defenders.
Right.
Like, that's the payoff. You know, like, that's why Shedeur should have been a first-round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget all the athletic stuff. Like, stuff like that, ball placement, accuracy, decision-making, Like that what keeps you playing the game
a long
for
time.
over a decade.
Yeah, it does, bro. It does. And I love quarterbacks who play like, and I've always been on the opposite end of the spectrum, because I know I used to have this conversation back in college when it came to Mike Vick. You know what I'm saying? It's like the scariest Mike Vick, for people who don't remember, wasn't the Atlanta version. It was fun and exciting, but the Philly version, when Mike Vick actually started to understand football and can use that app, that's when it was like, oh, this will get dark real quick, right? But a lot of people don't, I guess it's not attractive, you know? And I'll say this publicly. I think it's something also when it comes to black quarterbacks, that if a black quarterback plays that way, it's not exciting. I think that's why Dak Prescott gets a lot of hate, because you really have to understand the game of football to appreciate what Dak is doing. You really have to understand the game of football to appreciate what Shedeur Sanders does, because it's not easy. It's like, oh, well, he just spun out of 3 passes and threw the ball 70 yards. It's not exciting. But to see like, oh, bro, like he is dissecting and being surgical when it comes to this quarterback position, a lot of people don't understand it and they don't gravitate towards it. But for us, I love it, bro. I love a surgical ass quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, folks got revisionist history, because Peyton Manning did not have this cannon arm. He was doing
Tom Brady didn't either.
Dak Prescott and Shedeur Sanders were doing.
Right.
He's breaking down the defense. He's finding his outlet. You can't blitz him because you always know his height is.
Right.
Like, he was hard to deal with because he won the game with his mind.
Right.
And he got touted as the sheriff and all this other stuff. He got a cool nickname.
Right.
And when you're a black quarterback like that, Prescott to do the same. They say you dink and dunk.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. Like I that's why Tom Brady was the GOAT, bro. Like, you used to be like surprised when you would watch Peyton Manning or Tom Brady through an interception. You'd be like, oh, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, how that, you know what I'm saying? Because you really had to fool them with the look or just make a hell of a play. You know what I'm saying? I like that. And that's why I love Dak Prescott, because it's like when you really know how he's playing the game, like I feel like the only player that really combined the two, of pure athleticism and then just intangibles from mental capacity, was the prime Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers was one of those guys that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could make every throw off his back foot. He could, he could spin out, use his legs, but he also could read everything. It's like he was the one. You can probably put like Pat now back into that kind of, right now. But it's like, yeah, bro, like it's just one of those things. So, I get it. But Joe Milton has some growing to do. I thought he was ahead of the curve than what he showed last night, but it just puts it in a different situation. So.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing, I'll let you go, man. I know you got to watch your boy playing preseason.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trayshawn Holden, man.
Yeah.
He flashed. He was a team leading receiver. Didn't get in the game really to the very end, but shout out to Trayshawn Holden. I believe they said they're gonna try and move up the depth chart. Still don't know how he makes the team. With all that said, I still don't know how he makes the team with how deep we are at wide receiver.
Right.
But I'm happy for the kid, man.
Right.
If he don't end up on our roster, this been a good audition for somebody else's team.
Right.
So kudos to Trayshawn.
Right, exactly. Facts. Well, hey, my dog, appreciate you as always. For someone who might be hearing you for the first time, let everybody know they can find you, my dog.
Yeah, man, it's your boy Henny DeMoore reporting live from the liquor store. It's HTM Sports on YouTube if you want to subscribe, and I think it's HTM Sports on Facebook too. I don't know. I don't
we forget. Yeah,
so y'all tap in with me, man. We always bring raw switch content over here, and I appreciate you for letting me call in.
Always, my dog. Appreciate you, dog, man. Keep doing great work.
All right, appreciate it, man. I'm holler at you.
All right, bet, bro. All right. So I think that's the last caller. We're going to end it right here as far as the callers are concerned, because we got preseason football to watch. But yeah, here's the thing, y'all. It's just Joe Milton has time to grow, and I wasn't aware of it. I saw some people kind of mention it, where there was content creators saying that Joe was going to take Dak's job or something like that, right? And the conversation that we had on Cover 3, I think Wednesday, what I was saying is, if Joe Milton goes out there and he performs and he wins games like Dak did, it might be a tough opportunity to get it back. But I wasn't saying that, we should move on from Dak and start Joe Milton. Absolutely fucking not. Like, I'm not an idiot, right? But some people may have been putting that in the community. I was unaware of it till today. Like, oh, yeah, there's some content creators who are upset that Joe. I was like, I didn't know all that was going on. But I still think Joe is still going to be a good quality upgrade at the QB2 position, right? If you still tell me that to take Cooper Rush or Joe Milton, I'm still taking Joe Milton because the upside potential is there. This is why even last year, I wanted Trey Lance to be QB2. Now, I will say this, you might have to simplify things when it comes to the offense for Trey, just like you did with Joe. But if you watch here in 15 minutes, Jim Harbaugh was smart enough to know I'm not going to have Trey Lance dropping back, throwing 40 times or 50 times or 60 times. I'm going to run game around him, RPO, simple reads, is maybe split field reads, right? 1, 2, if not, take off or get rid of it and simplify. They have, Roman who coached Lamar Jackson. So you're going to have to build around a Joe Milton. You have to build around a Trey Lance, right? You still have to build around Anthony Richardson, right? But Mike McCarthy last year, he didn't have the time for all that shit. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the time for all that shit. Hey, I need someone who knows my offense in case that goes down, and I'm not changing shit for nobody because y'all trying to fire me and I'm trying to get my money. So, overall, I'm not out on Joe. I'm not going to say he's garbage or trash. He just struggled in his first preseason game with the Dallas Cowboys. It just is what it is. Like, he didn't struggle bad. I've seen some quarterbacks play a whole lot worse. But that just is what it is. But appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like I said, this week we'll start to get to some real film, not just training camp clips anymore. We're back to business. So subscribe to the channel, like the content. Also, we'll be going live. I think Cover 3, we're going live Wednesday night. So definitely tune in for that with my dog DMV and my brother Rome. Might have a guest, not sure, but to fix it all out. But yeah, gonna sit back, vibe, watch some preseason football, and get ready for next week. There's some good things to take away from yesterday's game, but also some things that I think that needs to be adjusted, and we'll see on Saturday if the Dallas Cowboys make the adjustments. And I appreciate everyone for tuning in. As always, relax. We have all season to be uptight. We have all season to be nervous and disgruntled. Relax a little bit, Cowboys Nation. Is going to be okay. I appreciate you all. I want to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and we finally have real football, Cowboys Nation. The game and the season is just weeks away. We have to get ready to go to